Hello there, and welcome to Touchdown in H-Town, our weekly sports segment. And this week we'll be talking about the top 10 baseball players of all time. So why don't we just get started? All right, number 10 on my list is Rogers Hornsby. Hornsby finished with a .358 batting average for his career, second best batting average all time behind Ty Cobb. Rogers Hornsby also had over 1,900 RBIs and was one of the greatest second basemen to ever play the game. All right, that leads us into number 9, Stan the Man Musial, the greatest St. Louis Cardinal to ever play. He had a career .331 lifetime average, 3,630 hits for his career, which puts him 5th all time. Stan Musial had 7 batting titles as well, second once again only to the great Ty Cobb. Stan Musial played 20 years for the St. Louis Cardinals and certainly one of their iconic outfielders. Number 8 on our list is Cy Young. Cy Young has the record for all-time wins with 511, a record which will never, ever even be approached. A pitcher in modern day would have to get 25 wins a season for 20 years and still would not have that record. That is how unapproachable that record is. It doesn't hurt when you have the award for the pitcher of the year named after you either. Number 7 on our list is the great Ty Cobb that I've already talked about a couple times. He had a career .366 batting average, best ever. Ty Cobb also had 8 batting titles, an all-time record. And despite the fact that he was not very popular or well-liked back in his day, he certainly is one of the greatest outfielders to ever play the game. Number 6 on our list, the greatest first baseman of all time, the New York Yankees legend Lou Gehrig, the Iron Man. He held the record for most consecutive games played at 2,130 up until Cal Ripken came along and broke that record. Lou Gehrig finished his career with a .344 lifetime batting average, had 493 home runs, and certainly would have reached the 500 home run plateau had his life and career not ended tragically due to ALS, also commonly known as Lou Gehrig disease. But certainly Lou Gehrig gave one of the greatest retirement speeches as well, that legendary retirement speech back in the 1930s. Lou Gehrig, one of the greatest players to ever play the game. That takes us to number 5 on our list. The great Hank Aaron, Hammerin' Hank, was the all-time leader in home runs with 755. Until certain somebody who's not on this list came along and cheated their way to 762. But Hank Aaron, widely regarded as the greatest home run hitter of all time. He had 2,297 RBIs, also an all-time record. Amazing that he finished his career with a .305 batting average. That's pretty rare for power hitters to be able to attain and sustain that high of a batting average throughout their career. But Hank Aaron, all-time home run leader in my opinion, and the number 5 greatest player of all time. All right, number 4 on our list is the great Walter Johnson, who in my opinion is the best pitcher to ever live. Walter Johnson had a career ERA of 2.17. He had over 400 wins and he had 279 losses, but a lot of those losses were because his team was so terrible. The Senators that he played for were one of the weakest offensive teams that has ever in Major League Baseball history. And so he was on the losing side of a lot of 1-0 games. But Walter Johnson, 2.17 career ERA. Not a whole lot of people had an ERA better than that throughout their career. But Walter Johnson, yeah, all-time strikeout leader until Nolan Ryan came along and just shattered that record. But Walter Johnson's best pitcher of all time, in my opinion. And that brings us to number 3, Ted Williams. The great Ted Williams. As amazing as his career statistics were, .344 career batting average, 521 home runs, over 1,800 RBIs. The amazing thing about that is he missed 5 years in the middle of his career due to military service for World War II. So had it not been for that, he might be the all-time home run leader and could possibly be the all-time RBI leader as well. So Ted Williams, a shame that he missed 5 years in the middle of his career, but we can only imagine how great his numbers were because they were certainly good enough to put him in my top 3, as it were. So Ted Williams, number 3 on the list. And that moves us to number 2, Willie Mays, who in my opinion is the greatest all-around baseball player to ever live. 660 home runs, 302 career batting average. He was widely considered to be the greatest defensive center fielder of all time. Had some truly iconic World Series catches, the over-the-shoulder catch, one of the classic catches of all time, one of the best plays to ever be made in center field. Can't say enough superlative things about him. I think ranking him number 2 on the list says just about all you need to know. And that brings us to number 1, the greatest baseball player of all time, one of the 2 or 3 greatest athletes to ever live, maybe not actually athlete, but one of the most dominant athletes for sure, Babe Ruth. 714 career home runs, 340 lifetime average, had over 2,000 RBIs for his career. Babe Ruth, what more can you say? Played on the greatest team of all time, the 1927 New York Yankees. Was paired alongside Lou Gehrig, who was number 6 on the list. They go down as probably the 2 greatest teammates in the history of sports, the 2 most dominant teammates, along with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson. But Babe Ruth, 714 career home runs, held that record for 50 years. In 1919, he hit 54 home runs, more than every other team in baseball of that year combined. So pretty impressive right there, to hit more home runs by yourself than any other team hit. Anyway, so that concludes our list for the evening, the top 10 baseball players of all time. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you agreed with my list, and if I didn't, sorry, you're wrong.